very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. And today has been a very interesting weather day here in New Zealand, well, certainly in our part of the world here, just north of Auckland, because we had fog all morning. I think the airport was out all morning. Certainly where I was, we take the new highway up, well, this is for our walk this morning, up the coast a bit, and it was just heavy fog. It didn't clear until lunchtime. Currently we have 14 degrees and it's been 14 all day. That was the high, and a damp 14 it was too. 100% cloud cover, and we didn't really have rain. No rain to speak of, but it was just sort of, you could cut the air with a knife really. No wind all day. It's still no wind. I could tell you which direction the boats are facing outside the window, but they are probably facing the way that the current is telling them to face, and so I won't even bother telling you that they're facing east at the moment. 1015.4 on the bar. So it will be interesting to see what sort of weather we've got with the boats that we're looking at. Certainly there's quite a few people wanting to leave this week. Some of you brave enough to leave tomorrow, others waiting for sort of more suitable weather later in the week. David will cover that shortly. So let's go to Iron Maiden, Gulf Harbour Radio.
Gulf Harbour Radio, this is Iron Maiden. And what a day we've had today, over.
Well, we're interested to just see what you did get and where you are, because the AIS is still way behind for you, Margaret. Go ahead with your interesting story.
That weather did come in at about 11:30 today, and we were getting consistently about 33 knots and gusting over 40 over.
Yeah, well, welcome to the world of fronts at sea. So at least you got it in the daytime, which is a hell of a lot better than dark 30 over.
Yes, we did appreciate that, and now we've lost wind completely, so we're just lying a hull over.
Ah, okay, all right, give us your position.
We're at 28.309 minutes south, 169 degrees, 22 minutes east. We have a variable wind of about 4 knots, 15% cloud cover, a very confused sea, although it is starting to come down, over.
Okay, yes, we saw that you had gone a bit further west than you probably wanted. 2809 south, 1690, 22 east. The wind has dropped. Boy, that's a big drop, isn't it, from all that frontal system earlier in the day. Now variable 4. While it settles down, 15% cloud cover and confused sea, so the boat won't be all that comfortable. I'll just pass the microphone.
Well, welcome to that little low that we talked about. And yes, it did form, and it did intensify. And yes, it's heading toward New Zealand, and it's going to pass by North Cape, Cape Reinga probably tonight, and then meander to the southeast. So those of the boats that are leaving tomorrow should have pretty brisk winds, pretty fresh winds, and fairly large seas, but not close into shore. They would be further offshore. Now for Margaret, you are going to have a total change because that depression moves off, like I said, pretty rapidly, considering, and in its place is the new high in the Tasman. And I think we discussed yesterday how that was going to form, and it did form. Not very strong. It's only a 1024, 1024 millibar. And the isobars are such that tomorrow morning, probably around breakfast time, you should have southwest winds. Fairly light, maybe 10, 12 knots. Might even get up to 15, I don't know. The isobars are such that it would indicate that it would be about that speed. But let's see what Wednesday does for you. Oh, yeah, if you can just inch a little bit to the east, then the winds are going to become southerly, about 12 to 15, maybe 15, certainly 12. That's Wednesday. And then looking at Thursday, things will look pretty good for you. Nice trade winds all the way to Port Vila or Anisham if you decide to stop there first, and you may want to. Uh,
No, not with their engine.
so yeah,
No.
that's right. You have an engine problem, so it might be a little bit hard. Although it's easy to get into the anchorage at Anisham. Anyway, that's the story. And with that, then, any questions? Over.
No, I appreciate that, Dave. It's all good. We're just going to just hang around this position for a few hours, over.
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't take too long, and you can have a nice evening meal, and then get cracking again. Alrighty, well, we'll see where you are this time tomorrow night. It sounds like things will be a lot better. Okay, we'll clear with you and talk to those on cables length 2 who are really smelling the barn north of Kandavu now and having an easy night of it to make landfall tomorrow. Cables length 2, good evening to you both.
Yes, hello, Patricia and David. Receiving you well. Yes, we're at 18 degrees 47 south, 176 degrees 59 east. The wind's just stopped out. Actually, we've got about 12 knots of northeast winds, and we're down to about 4 knots on a course of 12 degrees 2. So, yes, we've slowed down, ready for a tomorrow morning, over.
Yeah, good time to come in on a Tuesday too, because they'll have had the Monday rush. Not that there was many ahead of you. 1847 south, 17659 east, 12 knots from the northeast, and 4 knots currently just chugging along to get into a nice approach and landfall tomorrow. 012 current course. I'll pass the microphone to give you the latest from Fiji.
Yeah, this is not from me. This is from Fiji Met, and they have a strong wind warning out for all Fiji waters, and they're calling for an east to southeast wind prevailing over the whole group, it looks like. East to southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, 20 to 25, rough seas, moderate southerly swell, and the further outlook, and by that they usually mean the next 24 hours, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots over southwest V Lavu and Yasawa waters, Batuira Pass and Kandavu Pass, rough seas. So there you go, a little bit breezy up there, and that's thanks to the nice blocking high that's down near New Zealand that we talked about, but it shouldn't bother you getting in, I wouldn't think. At least I hope not. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Thank you, David.
Well, I wouldn't thank him for that. I would prefer to stick with what you've got. But anyway, you've got plenty of time to deal with anything. But certainly with 12 knots northeast where you are, it doesn't really match what they say they think it is. Well, we'll wait and see. But hopefully it won't be too snotty tonight. Anyway, you've got a lot of protection coming in the direction that you are once you hit the main island. All right, well, happy landfall tomorrow, and just let us know that all is well, and enjoy Fiji. Okay, clear with cables length 2 and go to Kazoo. All of the group that were heading up, Vitality, Amici, Kazoo and One Life, are now inside North Minerva, protected from the wind. I'd wonder if Kazoo is on frequency. No, nothing heard from them. Probably having a cold one or some sort of celebration. But we'll hopefully get a weather report from Beveridge Reef. Belina, are you on frequency, Benno?
Harbour Radio, this is Susanna. Good evening. How do your copy?
Yes, good copy from you, Benno. Hi to Marlene. Yep, what did you get up to today? What's it like? David thinks it might not have dropped. He had said last night that the wind would drop, but it looks like it might still be up around the 20 mark. Over.
Yeah, Roger. It dropped for a while, but during the day it picked up again to 18 to 20 knots from the southeast. And but we are well protected here, and we have 23 degrees and 50% cloud cover, and 1019 on the bar. Yeah, all well here in our little paradise. Over.
Good.
Sounds good. So certainly, I don't know whether you called in on the Hamnet this morning, but Dave, ZL3DM, has got COVID, as do a lot of people around here. So you'll be quite safe all by yourselves at Beveridge Reef. Over.
Yeah, as I told you, we are well protected from the reef. Yeah, over.
Yeah, and all the bugs that might be around. Okay, sounds good. All right, thanks for the report, Benno. And continue to enjoy your tranquility there. Okay, is there anybody wanting to do a radio check or check in or tell us something interesting? This is Gulf Harbour Radio listening. No, nothing heard. There will be, as I mentioned, a few boats leaving tomorrow. I know Alula are leaving tomorrow, and some of them have just changed their mind and going a bit later in the week. So we'll see what happens when we look at things tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. And by the way, just in case there are boats there that cannot program 8752, and God knows why we got that, given that frequency by Spectrum Management, but there are some old codons, I think that's an Australian brand, that they can listen on 8752 but not receive, not transmit, should I say. So what we generally do in those circumstances is at the end of the net we go to 8297, which is certainly on your all radios, and we just touch base with them then if there's anything that is needed. So just keep that in mind if you're one of those boats.
Better mention one thing.
Okay, David has a thing to mention, not sure what. Maybe it's the huge high that I'm looking at over his shoulder.
Well, by George, that's exactly what I'm looking at. And it's not until next Wednesday. And that's
Not
the
this
third,
week.
no, not this one. The day before the 4th of July. The 3rd of July. And, it's a big high. Very, very big high. 1037 millibar, 1037. And it's going to be located just slightly west of Tasmania. And, boy, it's a big one. It's not only a mountain of air, but it's large in area. It covers the entire New Zealand, the entire Australia continent, and isobars go all the way out to New Zealand. And this will be probably a slow moving one. It's hard to tell right now because the models certainly don't go out that far with any accuracy. But anything that big, I get nervous about. So we'll see how that all goes, and we'll see if it really happens as well. And yeah, that's it. That's it from the weather desk.
Which is very close to the radio desk because we have to move the microphone from one to the other. Good night, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow. Cheers all.